Welcome to Shardcast, the Brandon Sanderson podcast. We're a bunch of mega fans giving you the news, discussion, and of course a whole lot of opinions about Brandon's work in the Cosmere. I'm Eric, and joining me is Ian.
Hey, I'm WeiryWriter.
Also joining me is Evgeni.
Hi there, they call me Argent.
And we also have the Lord of Robot Gators, Graces, is Grace.
Hi, I'm Gator Girl.
Her Grace herself.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I am her Grace, the Gator Girl.
Gator race. Gator.
Gator Ace? What?
I've got the words.
Copyright infringement.
I've got. What? I've got the words Gatorade, Gator, and Grace in my head, and I'm trying to amalgamate them.
Meanwhile, 40 viewers who wanted info on listening to this podcast are just like Gator Ace, and then just have left the video. I feel like a lot of people just leave with our scheduled nonsense, but that's fine. Also joining me is someone who does not know how to add or remove programs or get his webcam to work or anything with technology, really, and yet somehow is the techie one in his family. Is David.
It's true. I am Windrunner, and to all those who did not like how my camera looked, congratulations. You don't have to do it anymore.
We literally can't get
You won.
it. Yeah. Apparently your webcam needs to warm up.
This is just what his cognitive aspect looks like.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Sure. Let's go with that.
So last week we were talking about the Knights Radiant in extremely slow fashion.
Last week.
Yeah, so here's the thing, guys. We recorded those Radiant episodes like February.
A month and a half ago.
And so we're recording part 3 right now at the end of March. So we don't actually remember what we said.
So we have to go through and record those 2 more episodes again.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
We're going to start with soul casting.
No, we're not. No, we're not. We're not doing that. I know we got through Lightweavers, and we talked about in way too much detail soul casting, which we already talked in detail about on a previous podcast, so that's great. So, we're going to talk about Elsecallers. I think we talked sufficiently about transformation last time, but we're going to talk about transportation, and we're going to talk about the usual stuff that we do, like the resonance and oaths, and you know what? We're going to complete it this time. I know that sounds optimistic, but it
is very likely that we can go through the 4 orders that we know the least about.
Yeah, Jess actually was telling me last night. She said, I expect to wake up from a message from you saying, "Oh, it's 2 episodes." I'm like, no, Jess, no, it's not. It's gonna be 1 episode. We're gonna get 4 orders. We don't know anything about the Willshapers and Stonewards. We can definitely not need to spend an hour on them.
Imagine how much we can hypothesize about
No,
them.
shut up. Why? Why would you do this?
More room.
No. I hate all of you. Okay, so let's talk about Elsecallers. Elsecallers have a very interesting ability in that they can go into Shadesmar.
Yes. Technically, Willshapers can do that too.
Well,
Yeah, well, but we don't know anything about them, so whatever.
I mean, yes. Well, so first of all, it's very interesting how certain surge abilities are just called the order name. Like, oh, I'm Lightweaving. Well, it's like, I'm sure the Truth Watchers feel really great about that. About Lightweaving. And Elsecallers, oh yeah, it's Elsecalling. But like Willshapers could do that. Like, what?
What's even better is Windrunning. What is that? Is it just the basic lashing?
Yeah.
Do
guess.
they use windrunning?
Yes, and I hate it. Yeah.
Okay,
I
not
can't-
touching
I
that
can't-
can of worms.
I can't wait for truth watching and stonewarding and willshaping and bondsmithing.
But there's also like soul casting.
yeah, and
which
it's just
is
in
not-
there. It's just in there.
So language is weird and it evolves weirdly. I can live with like strange linguistic anomalies like that, even if they bother me a little bit.
I mean, they already used Lightweaver and Lightweaving and else calling, so they had to give soulcasting a different name. It makes sense.
Poor planning.
And everyone knows that division is actually called releasing.
The releasing. Yeah, of course.
Ooh, we should probably go in this so we show off the Knights Radiant table. I almost forgot. That would have been bad.
The double
Well-
eye of the Almighty.
Yes. Accurate.
Okay, so question though about else calling.
Yeah.
Am I the only one who thinks they can also teleport, or is everyone firmly in that they can only transition to Shadesmar with that power thing?
I think we know they can teleport.
Do we?
I've had arguments with people about whether or not they can teleport.
I feel like there is a Wabberoni.
I've pasted a
There's-
couple into our doc, but it's less conclusive than I would prefer.
I mean, oath gates theoretically are fabrials that manipulate
true.
the surge of transportation.
Yep.
And those teleport people.
And
so-
also, oath gates have like a giant, what could be like a very strange ink spren almost. Like I always thought the
Mhm.
darker one on the oath gate platform could be like a supercharged ink spren or something.
that
kinda
was
how I felt,
always
too.
the impression I had.
Yeah.
I've never had that impression, and I was so surprised like a year ago when I saw that on the forum somewhere. I'm like, wait, what? And it kind of makes sense. I can see that, but I don't think it's the description matches.
It makes me confused what the other spren would be.
Well,
though.
that's certainly true.
Well, my impression was that they were both ink spren. It's just some are black and some are white. But they both
So
have
like
the
a-
iridescent sheen.
Yes,
Like a
maybe.
whiteout spren.
ink spren. Oh, okay. So Elsecallers bond ink spren.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I always found the way Ivory phrases things very strange.
Oh, I love it.
Yes.
He's like Stormlight's Yoda. It's weird.
It's
No,
really
no,
weird.
I was
It's-
just thinking of Yoda. It's a different way of. So probably in his spren language, that's how sentences are structured. And so now that he's learning to speak Alethi, some hang-ups are there.
I'm just
I think in Oathbringer there's only one spren language.
None of
thought
the other sprens seem to have this language barrier going on. Like they just appear and they can talk.
just
Maybe it's just Ivory, and he's just kind of a weirdo.
that's
you know.
possible.
Well, no, it's mentioned that some of the misspren can't speak Alethi
Hmm.
Yeah, because there's. I guess it's like
because
all
there
used to
are
it.
spren languages.
Yeah.
I just seem to remember reading that there is only one spren language.
I don't know. I feel like if I actually bonded a spren, I'd be an Elscaller, but man, ink spren sound really freaking annoying if they all talk like that. I think
I
I'd go
mean-
insane.
If I'm being honest, I also think I would probably be an Elscaller, and I would not have an issue with the way my spren talks because that's racist.
Oh, one up.
Like how every episode Eric's ordered, like what he thinks he would be just changes.
It's a scholarly order. So is it an ink spren because it's like supposed to evoke writing ink on a page, and that's why it's like an ink spren?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking writing
Yeah.
and like history.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I believe we have
preservation of
a
knowledge.
word of Brandon on this.
Yes.
There's what kind of Iron Eyes asked at Boscoon 54 in 2017. What kind of qualities attract an Inkspren? Inkspren do not like how variable humans are. It's a thing out of honor, and they like people who are logical and willing to think about their lives and not react as much by instinct. They are more. The scholar is the perfect example, but the soldier who is very thoughtful and is not just rushing into battle could be chosen as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So very preservation-y.
Yeah, I suppose, but it's also like it kind of has that aspect of honor. The Stormfather does not like being misquoted. He hates
Yeah.
that. Like that like fits That it doesn't
Yeah.
like burying. You make an oath, you do it, and
Okay.
And there's the perception, like Nail is like, I am without emotion. I am fully suffused with honor.
yes.
So, like, emotions are bad and of the enemy, but not
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure there are some perverse way of thinking about emotions when your enemy is all like, "Oh yeah, no, we own emotion," and so some people would think that way. But so that's Inkspren.
Well, one more thing.
Yeah.
It makes sense that you should be willing to, if you make an oath, you should uphold it no matter how you feel now. Sort of thing. It's like,
Well,
no, you made an oath.
for Inkspren, sure.
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've always hated that idea. I think that's dumb.
Well,
But
it's,
yeah.
it's not necessarily the case though, because Kaladin and Syl have a conversation in Oathbringer where they touch on this idea of, hey, oaths cannot be kind of the ultimate truth because our knowledge and our understanding changes over time.
Yeah.
And
but
really, it's
still
the
is an honor
spren.
spren, like not an ink spren.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that that either one of them has any better understanding. Like,
Well, I'm not saying either one is correct. It's just they have different opinions on which is correct.
sure.
Yeah. I would be very interested to see how Inkspren feel about oaths and stuff. Like, I definitely want to learn more about that, and we got so little of that in Oathbringer.
Well,
Ivory
we
did.
do know that the Inkspren, everyone except Ivory is the impression, they would rather kill Yasna than risk a bond again and more like another recreance.
So not positive.
Well, that makes sense if they don't like how variable humans are. So that
Yeah.
it's like, hey, if we do this again, you might die. Let's not do that.
And even Ivory says to Yasna that she is almost like a spren in her
Right. Yeah.
unwavering quest and being.
It's a good
which is not
spren
something she
fit.
agrees with.
It's a good spren fit for Yasna.
True.
Though she does have emotion.
Yes, she does.
She just doesn't
But
Obviously.
advertise.
Many times she is like a spren, but she definitely
Yeah.
does have emotions and things.
But like, I always got the impression that she was bothered by Ivory saying that.
Yes,
like,
I believe so as well.
I don't know about bothered, but she obviously disagreed with that.
Yeah. We have no idea what else calling oaths are at all. No clue.
No idea.
No idea.
probably something about logic and stuff like that.
What are their divine attributes? So
Yep.
we can use that.
Yeah,
to
what are the
run through.
divine attributes?
They are wise and careful.
Well,
Oh,
okay,
great.
that's really helpful. I mean,
I will be really careful.
I swear to be very careful and not precariously tip this chair over. That's the second Elsecallers oath. Actually, I don't know if you know this.
I could see them going for something about seeking knowledge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Or I will seek the
Yeah.
truth or something.
Those both seem very like truth watchery to me.
Yeah.
Well, that's
'Cause
true.
it's
Oh
like
yeah, that's true.
Learned is literally the truth watcher thing.
Yeah.
I could see more knowledge sort of direction because I don't know. They seem plenty scholarly, and I don't know if the Truth Watchers would have like a.
It's more the application of that knowledge.
Well, if the seeming pattern of the first oath kind of being a reaffirmation of what attracted the spread in the first place continues,
Mhm.
then the Elsecallers first oath could be something about like I don't know, like I will like I don't know.
I will preserve
Maybe
the
like
truth.
logic based.
Yeah, that's what I'm more like thinking. Like I'm thinking something like I will not waver in my beliefs or something, but that feels more
Yeah.
Stonewardy to me.
Yeah. Which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah,
Shut up.
and they're also weird divine attributes.
Wise, careful.
Mhm.
Because being wise is not I mean, it's kind of something you can train and be better at, but it's more of like how you are.
Well,
Like protecting and
experience
leading.
makes one more wise. So
Yeah, sure.
So kind
Mhm.
of.
Then again, creativity is also in that.
Yeah.
and it's like you can like train leadership, but like you also like they're like people are just good at it too. You know?
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Maybe the Elsecallers have to pursue a research project at some point in their
Oh
life.
my God.
Let's write an
Get their
essay.
PhD.
That's the fourth ideal, and the fifth one is a postdoc.
Yeah. You get your bachelor's, and that gives you your sword, and then you work on your master's, and then
You have
Um,
to write a thesis,
And defend it to
argue
a
it
panel of
against other
Inkspren.
doctors.
To his panel of Ink's friend. There you go.
Yeah.
I like it.
Um,
I'm
no,
into
maybe,
this.
maybe we're focusing too much on the wisdom and knowledge, and not enough on the careful divine
I
attributes.
think these two things go very well together because like it's when do you use this knowledge and taking care when you do use knowledge.
Yep.
Well, when and how.
Yep.
So maybe their ideals are more along the lines of being well, careful, deliberate in how you use your knowledge, or
Yeah, I think that was a good choice of words. It's like careful in terms of being deliberate, not careful as in being afraid of doing stuff wrong. That's
I agree. Yeah, they just want you to be deliberate, and even on the battlefield,
kind of precise, exact.
don't like run into Don't be like Talon and run into battles where you're not gonna win, but you win anyway. Like that's not an Elsecallers.
Pick your battles.
You're gonna pick your battle,
battles.
and you're gonna be wise and deliberate about where you apply force, and you're gonna win.
Yeah, I can see that. Something
Yeah.
else that is interesting about the Elsecallers. Also, we haven't talked about transportation.
No, we haven't. We still need to talk about its ability.
They are so their combination of transportation and transformation makes them uniquely connected, lowercase, to the cognitive realm.
Yep.
Because those two surges. So obviously we haven't seen any real transportation outside of the oath gates, but with transformation, with soul casting, there is very obvious contact with the cognitive realm.
Yep.
Yeah. And so the combination of these two very cognitive surges puts them in a really interesting position,
Which is
among all the orders.
They are described in Words of Radiance as the prime liaisons with the great ones of the Spren.
Yep.
and
Which is
they were also given honors drop, a perfect gemstone.
Yeah,
Well,
they were the keepers
all
of
of
the
them.
perfect gems.
of all of the perfect gems, yeah.
Which
Of which we presume honors drop or the king's drop
Yeah.
is one.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes sense since we've seen the perfect gems as a large part of like the Shadesmore economy.
Yeah.
That is true.
Really makes you wonder how many perfect gems there actually are, but it clearly didn't seem to matter. Like, yeah, and Celebrant, yeah, we got perfect gems. We'll story Stormlight.
Hopefully
Probably
at least
10.
9.
Hopefully at least 9.
No, they only need 8 because Shauna is going to become good.
And Bai Demishram's already imprisoned. For now.
Maybe.
Now.
Yes. I can't wait.
Who knows who's in prison now?
And that's totally true. So they're the most aligned with the cognitive realm and
Yep.
and that side of things.
They were also, at least one of them was researching the sibling during the fall of Eurythero.
Yes.
Well, that goes into their scholarly nature
Yeah.
and their
Yeah.
association with the cognitive realm. It's like
They
would be the
looking
ones doing
looking
that
at
research.
friends. It's like, hey, what's the sibling doing in the cognitive realm?
Oh, they're not looking too good.
No. Let's talk about transportation.
The surge of travel and realmic transition.
Oh, it says travel. It has to be teleportation.
Yeah.
Whoever I was
Yeah.
arguing with was wrong.
So
So
go ahead, Grace.
I think teleportation is possible, but I think that you still need to be going from like one perpendicularity or like point of where the realms are close to another, which could make it more impractical in some scenarios, is my opinion.
I do not know if I agree with that.
I don't know either.
I believe that there's. Can't remember if it's in the book or it's a word of Brandon.
Just a second, Ian. So the surge is actually called the surge of motion and realmatic transition.
It's supposed to be realmic.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Did we ever get a clear breakdown on which was which? Or like
No.
what the difference between that is? Okay.
But
Oh,
That's what the Ars Arcanum says. So surge of motion is not the same as travel.
that is true.
Which
They
is
don't move. They don't move if they're just doing their realmic transition. They're literally in the exact same spot. So if they're
That is
moving in
also
any
true.
way,
Yeah.
it would be teleportation. in my
Motion
opinion.
is such a vague word in this context. It's like, wow, you
That
could
is-
justify a lot of things with motion.
I can't remember if it was in books or if it was a word of Brandon, but it was like it's very hard to be precise with else calling.
Okay.
Oh, that's in the context of it's a word of Brandon. Somebody asked why did Yasna end up in way out in the Shattered Plains at the end of Words of Radiance?
Mhm.
It wasn't the Shattered Plains. It was
It
just
was
the
something
The
middle.
else.
unclaimed hills.
Sure, yeah, like
Yeah.
Unclaimed Hills.
Far.
And Brandon's answer was pretty much, yeah, she's not very good at it, and it's also difficult to be very good at it.
Which kind of makes sense because you'd want to control on someone being able to just teleport willy-nilly wherever they want to go without that becoming overpowered.
Which is interesting because Yasna needed to transition to the cognitive realm. But how did she get out of the cognitive realm?
Well, they were initially going to be looking for a perpendicularity, but she did not appear to pop out at a
No.
perpendicularity.
No, she didn't.
So I figure she might have maybe leveled up or like got better in Shadesmar and then was able to successfully.
She also chatted with Highspren apparently on the trip.
and then
Yep.
decided not to talk about it at all during Oathbringer.
Well, a lot of that was because of her knowledge that the humans were the Voidbringers, and that's not knowledge she wanted to share with anyone else because she feared another
And
Recreance.
also the
or-
readers until the dramatic
guess-
people.
I
Eh.
guess. I don't know. I feel like she might I just feel like there might have been like a tidbit or two of knowledge. She could have been like, hey, by the way, while I was gone for 6 months, this is what I learned. Like that I can help you out with at this point.
Yeah.
She's a smart lady. I think she could have gotten stuff out of it without blowing the whole secret that the humans are kind of the bad guys.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. Because didn't we have a thing where it's like it's easy to get into Shadesmar but hard to get out with Elsecalling?
I just read a wob on that.
Great. Is that what you were gonna say?
I was gonna say I've been reading wobs on
Uh-huh,
Elsecalling,
uh-huh.
and we have a bunch.
Huh?
I think part of that is that it's easier to get Stormlight in the physical realm.
That is a
Because
part, yeah.
There are these storms that go around and just shove it everywhere. Whereas in the cognitive realm, it's a lot more restricted. You're literally
Sure.
using up your money supply.
Yeah, okay.
Given that Yasna could just exit wherever, that does kind of say teleportation, but I think they have to go into Shadesmar to do it.
They have to go through the cognitive realm.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's
Much like
I
Oath gates go
maybe-
through the cognitive realm, technically.
That's a not yet decided.
It makes sense. I don't want him to change his mind on that.
So Yasna can teleport, decided. Glad we're all on the same page.
I
Yeah.
mean, I think when someone says, "Oh, can Yasna teleport?" that means like, could I teleport to my front door right now? Yasna wouldn't do that because it's you gotta go like into the cognitive realm and then exit the cognitive realm, and it's kind of there's kind of
I
some
guess
stuff involved, and it's not just like, I'm gonna teleport to see who's at the door and see
I
who's
guess.
there, right?
I don't know if I
Well-
necessarily agree that you need to go to Shadesmart and then teleport and then exit Shadesmart. That seems kind of clunky to me. But
Yeah,
I
I
guess
don't
it'd be
so.
know.
more like one action
I
Mhm.
that
guess.
you hop in and out, rather than transition to the
I
cognitive realm,
suppose.
move, and then transition out. Those are two different things.
I suppose, because
I-
Oathgates don't do that.
I can see
kind
Shadesmar acting like a door where transportation is concerned.
Yeah.
So you start in the physical, you end in the physical, you go through the cognitive, but you don't really spend any time in the cognitive. But
'Cause
like the connective tissue is that.
yeah, the theoretical function of the Oath Gates is that you travel at the speed of light through the cognitive realm, I believe, which isn't 100% canon yet, as Argent pointed
Maybe.
out, but
Yeah.
it works. I like that methodology.
Like, why else would there be a giant Oathgate platform in the cognitive realm side?
so you
if-
could just transition though. Like that does have a purpose.
Well, yeah,
So
but
you can
like,
stand somewhere. Well,
I don't know. Just seems like, why not?
no, the Oath Gates don't seem to be designed for just transitioning between the realms.
I dispute that because they were asked by Honor to be closed, so I assume
Yeah.
they had to.
Yeah.
They at
They
one point
can't-
were used to.
They have the same functionality as in Elsecaller, basically. You can use them to get to the cognitive realm and back, or you can use them to teleport.
But there's
Yeah.
no, like, in the controls in the physical room, there's no just transition. Like, you are rotating the dial to go
Just-
from a city to a city.
They don't understand how it works yet.
Yeah,
Like,
they
there's
didn't
a
even know
whole
that
bunch
there was
of
a dial.
controls that they don't know. How
Yeah.
No,
to
it's
use.
not a bunch of controls. It's a
Yeah,
An
there's
arrow-
like a lock on it, Argent. They didn't see initially. There's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff that they don't know
There's
what it is.
And, like,
also
Yeah.
There's the big room, and then there's the little control room that can just move. That doesn't have the big circular thing.
there's also the fact
Well,
that
yeah,
maybe
the circle's in that room.
maybe it would be different if you walked into an Oathgate and the Spren were just like, "Hey, where would you like to go?" You know, like
Yeah.
if the Spren were allowed by Honor to talk, then maybe like you just hear those Spren in the Oathgate chamber. Like,
They did mention they miss talking to men.
I don't know. I don't like. There's a lot of different possibilities that the Oathgate could have.
Yeah, and there was a bridge to the Oathgate platform in Thalen City, which implies to me that people were walking
Yeah.
up to get onto that
Yeah.
platform for reasons.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree that there is a reason for people from Shadesmar. Like, there was support for the feature to go from Shadesmar, like, to walk up to a gateway in Shadesmar and then transition.
Hmm
I don't think the other direction was something that was there.
I don't see any logical reason it would only be a one-way door.
Yeah,
Agreed.
Like, why?
be really annoying.
I think it would work, but they're forbidden from doing so. Also, we're definitely getting off task. Talking
Yeah.
about
True.
Like- welcome to Oathgate Cast. Definitely not the title of this show.
I don't know if I agree with you guys that Elsecallers can just pop out anywhere
Well,
from Shadesmar to the physical
It
realm.
does-
That was never the impression I got while reading.
it does feel like there should be some restrictions, but I just don't know why Yasna would pop out where she did. Like,
Well, doesn't Hoyd don't she and Hoyd talk about it, and Hoyd kind of says that he like knew she would come out there because like the realms were closer together or something?
that what he
No.
said?
No.
I
No,
Or
don't think-
not in
That's
that many
Hoyd's
words,
special-
but that
that's
was
Hoyd's spider sense. I'm
that
pretty
was
sure.
Yeah,
his
that's Hoyd's fortune.
Yeah,
Like,
that's his fortune.
No, he doesn't say anything about the realms being close.
He says that he has heard she's caused a ruckus among the Spren, and they're not used to a living person in there, which also is kind of not true. But you know, 'cause there are living people in there.
Well, depends on like if she was among the high spren, maybe they haven't.
Yeah, Wit says, "Did you need to else call this far out in the middle of nowhere?" I also really love the Words of Radiance epilogue, where it's like, "It will bring the Voidbringers already here. We need to find Earthiru Already
Found
found. The knights refound it.
Yeah.
I love that so
Mm.
much. I think you're right, Grace. I'm sure there is restriction. I just don't know what it is. So I'm down with not being able to teleport anywhere and exit anywhere, but
Well,
it's not just oath gates and perpendicularities, obviously.
I would say, like, theoretically you can do it anywhere, but it's a whole lot easier if the realms are closer,
Well,
to the point where it's really not feasible.
I don't even know what that means.
I guess. Does that mean like after a high storm, it's easier to else call? Like,
Well, that
I would say so.
that would probably be true, honestly.
Yeah.
I would say that's probably true.
Let's do a few WoWs.
Okay.
We have Minicon 2015. Since Elsecallers can physically go to Shadesmar and have access to the transportation surge, can all Elsecallers world hop? Yes, that is one of the Elsecaller powers.
Yep. Well, once you're in Shadesmar, world hopping is not
Really-
really a big deal.
Yeah.
It's really interesting that Elsecallers. Oh, this is the names in the expanses. Okay,
Yeah,
never mind. From 2016, can Elsecallers move without perpendicularities on other worlds? Yes, they can.
Yes, because that's literally their magic.
Is transportation similar to the gates in the Wheel of Time?
Yes.
No, but yes, says Brandon.
I don't know anything
we
about
go.
these, so
Yeah. So
those are like
I
doorways.
was actually thinking about these a little bit earlier. Is that in Wheel of Time, they rediscovered the ability to create gateways, which are literal doors from one place to another.
Mhm.
But they also can like create doorways into Teleron Rio, the world of dreams, and they can walk to another place where they also create a door to get back out, because it takes less time to the world of dreams, obviously.
Are you saying Brandon
And
is
so-
inspired by the Wheel of Time?
Yes. Yes, I am saying that.
No way.
The world of dreams is very similar to the cognitive realm, by the way. Yeah.
Ish.
Someone should tell Robert Jordan that he's being ripped off. Right
Wow. Screw
I
that,
don't think
Brandon.
that's would be top on people's list of asking Robert Jordan
Yeah.
questions about.
Yeah.
He has been asked many, many questions.
And there's also a word of Brandon where someone asks, did Yasna's body die? And the answer is no. Which she transferred it to the cognitive realm.
So unlike transformation, where you kind of send an astral projection of yourself in there
you're sending your
with
actual self.
transportation, you were actually physically going. Physically, in quotation marks.
Oh, yes,
because,
physically going into the realm of minds. Ah, yes, of course.
because your physical body is transformed into investiture, and then
Spat
on the
out
way out,
Yeah, it's spat out and reformed in the cognitive realm. It makes sense.
yeah,
Cognitive
You still need-
mumbo jumbo.
And you still gotta breathe though, for sure, and eat, even though you're investiture.
Yeah,
yeah.
but Shadesmar just has air. It makes sense.
Oh god, I hate everything.
Do we have anything else to talk about with Elsecallers?
I would say if people are interested in maybe semi-canonical mechanics about it, there's a little bit about else calling in that like
Oh,
short
yes.
thing that Brandon wrote.
Yes.
That's like when Yasna escapes from the ship, and it kind of mentions
Oh, yeah.
junctures and how you can or maybe can't get back out. But
Yeah.
it's not really like take it with a grain of salt if you read it, because it's also kind of
I-
it might not represent how Brandon decided for
I
things.
think
to work.
that's where we first got the word perpendicularity was from that
Yep.
as well, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
It was miscapitalized there too.
Well,
They
yeah.
talk about honors perpendicular. Do they?
They mention it, or maybe it was
Uh,
cultivation's perpendicularity.
Yeah, maybe.
No. It's honors. No, do they?
Yeah.
Is it miscapitalized?
Well,
thought
it
it
was the
was
first time we saw it, so it was still. I don't think Brandon had decided on the capitalization.
Brandon's
yet, but
capitalization is
now-
real bad in early drafts.
retroactively.
Nothing makes any sense in those.
Yeah, no, that doesn't matter. But yeah, if
It
you're
might have
interested,
been mentioned in a word of Brandon before that.
No. no,
I'm
it's
pretty
literally
sure that
us.
was new. But so
I remember being excited.
I remember
about
that scene.
yeah. I think so. Presumably there's these junctures that they could get out, right? And so you couldn't get out everywhere.
Junctions.
Sorry.
Mhm.
Sorry. You're right, though. Yes.
Let's use words.
I don't know. I didn't read this before this episode. I don't remember. David said junctures, and I believed him. Okay.
Is it not a juncture?
There's your
I don't
problem.
remember.
It's a junction, I think.
Whatever it
Is
is,
it? Yes.
he goes, the Jershon is not. That's all I remember. What junction or juncture, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Well, one of those is at least one of those is an actual word.
So that would. I mean, I'm definitely more okay with there being like specific places where they could exit and stuff.
Or at least more easily.
But like, I don't know why there would be those places and how, but I'm sure there's various cognitive mumbo jumbo going on.
Just in case anyone doesn't know, there was a quote-unquote deleted scene after Words of Radiance came out.
Yes.
It is published on Tor. If you just Google like Words of Radiance Yasna deleted scene, it's gonna show up. It's like a couple of
I
pages.
just did that to check when it was posted. And the word a friend and I was thinking about is from a month after it was posted. so-
Ah. Yeah, it's a
And
fun read.
Technically, it was never a deleted scene.
Yeah.
Even though it's
that's
called
why I
that.
said that quote-unquote deleted scene.
Yeah, it's I don't know what you'd
Oh,
call
it
it.
was gonna be. Oh, Brandon was thinking about putting that in a Yasna novella, didn't he?
What?
That he will never
He
share with
wrote
us.
a Yasna novella
Well,
to
yeah.
figure out what she was doing in the cognitive realm,
Oh,
but has decided not to release it for reasons.
probably massive spoiler reasons.
Probably.
Brandon, give me the Yasna stuff, please.
Maybe we should transition to Willshapers before Evgeni dies. Any other else going thoughts?
Yasna.
I don't think so.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the next two we got, guys, are Willshapers and Stonewards, and we know very little about them. Let's talk about Willshapers. Now, we have to tell you something about the surges of
Ugh.
these two.
Can we wait and talk about other stuff first?
I
we can talk about
suppose we can.
transportation again.
Yeah, right. So Willshapers bond Lightspren, the Reachers, and
They are explorers in the cognitive realm.
yep, one of them wanted to explore the underground caverns of Amia.
One of the Willshapers, not one of the Reachers.
Oh yes. Well,
Yes.
yes. Sorry.
The
Ash
research
and
of the
I
Big Bang.
was a proto Willshaper,
Yep. And now
and he is named the Explorer on the back of Words of
That's true.
Radiance
By Arklo.
is that
by the Sleepless.
Yeah, that wasn't Arklo.
Did we not get a confirmation that
Arklo
it's
specifically
Arklo?
said
We got
he
a-
wasn't really watching them.
We got a
specifically.
confirmation that it was not Arklo.
Ah, the other confirmation. Okay.
It's either Arklo definitely did or he definitely didn't.
I mean, so one of those two, yeah.
No, but like Arklo said, like that the other Sleepless were watching them more closely than he was, so it wasn't Arklo.
Sure.
I knew it wasn't Arklo. And now Venli is a.
Venli is bonded to Tamber, who is
Yeah.
Captain Aiko's daughter.
That's a theory,
Most likely.
but that's a
That-
good theory.
Come on!
I
like,
know.
it's-
I just don't want us to state things on fact as fact on the show without like
It
being
is-
clear what is a thing Brandon definitely said versus a theory. That said,
Okay, for those of
yeah,
you who are not aware of this theory, it's like Aiko talks about his daughter who ran away tracing dreams. Tamber, and Tamber mentions to Venli is like, "Oh hey, this bad thing happened to my grandfather. Captain Aiko's father
Yeah.
is a Deadeye."
yeah.
And it's like, so Tamber's like, I don't want to bond a human.
Yeah, no, I'm 100%. That is totally a thing. I'm with you, but I just
Look,
you know,
maybe Tamber has a sister, and Aiko is talking about one of them, and like,
I mean, that's Tamber would still be Aiko's daughter then.
Yeah.
fair.
And Aiko would have mentioned daughters.
Look, it's a very good theory, but it's a theory. We're just
and
See, I'm just still like digesting that everyone calls it Tamber because I definitely have been saying that wrong in my head.
oh no, I say Timber.
me too.
Okay.
Well, Tamber is an actual literal English word.
Oh, I've been saying Timbree, so
What?
just to myself. Don't worry. I know it's not right. It's just the way it's read in my head.
Okay, let's see if there's an
Well,
alternative
thanks for joining us on this show, David.
You're welcome.
You're a great comedic relief, even though your delivery is very dry and sardonic. It's great. I like it.
There you go.
Are you on Google seeing what word how it pronounces Evgeni?
Oh, I use that all the time.
I can hear that. I can.
What?
I hear them saying Timbree.
No.
No. It is not immediately obvious to me that there is an alternative pronunciation, so I think I will switch to timbre.
Ian was very firm on this the entire time. I'm just saying, why would there be an I in that word then?
Because English.
Because English is
Yeah,
terrible.
Because English.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But it means the quality of a sound.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you can tell the difference between a human singing at a G and a violin at a G because of their timbres.
Okay.
Yep. And presumably, well, it's Venley's next book with Esh and I flashbacks, and so we're gonna see Willshapers stuff. And I don't think we know anything about their abilities other than that Brandon developed the Willshapers really early, and he's very excited about them. That's one thing I remember. But other than
that's
yeah.
a thing.
yeah.
They are resolute and builders.
Yep.
I thought this was gonna be Dalinar's order when we first were like trying to figure out who it was
That's a
gonna
good.
be.
Yeah, I mean that's a good theory.
Yeah.
Their herald was Kalak.
Yep.
Who was the viewpoint character from the Prelude.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And may or may not appear in the prologue of every book. And
That's that really nervous guy.
And also appears to
Nail's
be like a
unnamed
whip.
companion.
Yeah.
There was a question in Words of Radiance Philadelphia's signing where someone asks, what would the Willshapers think about Adolin killing Sadius? And Brandon said the Willshapers would probably be okay with that. So that's a clue as to...
Sure.
As would all right-thinking people.
Including Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's definitely a more cultivationally thing. Ish.
I don't know.
Cultivation would have zero issues with that.
You
It's
know,
weeding the garden.
So here's the thing. I don't agree with that because in rereading Oathbringer, when Dalinar is all like, oh my god, I killed everyone at the Rift, the Stormfather's like, why are you having issue with it? You brought them justice. That's fine. Like, oh,
I think
dang, Stormfather.
The Stormfather was literally like, I destroy cities all the time. You can too. It's fine.
I don't know.
This is the distinction between honor and the Stormfather.
Well, that's true, but I think
That is
like
fair, yeah.
justice, there's a part of that in honor, right?
Oh yeah, it's like there are parts of honor that would be okay with it. Though there is a word, Brennan, that says honor would not, like the person would not have been okay with what Adolin did.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, surprise
cultivation
murder is not very
Should have
honorary.
zero issues with that.
Well, I mean, it's a very nuanced action, so
Yeah. But other than that, we have very little about the Willshapers. Extremely, extremely little.
They
And
were
what are their
uncut
searches again?
gems.
What's the quote in the Words of Radiance in World?
I have
They're
it,
like capricious and like they don't have like a common character among them in some of the
They
ways
like
the
novelty.
orders do.
capricious, frustrating, and unreliable.
Aha!
who
Should have been
wrote that
Lips
book?
order.
That is slander.
Someone who doesn't like the Elsecallers.
The Willshapers.
Right.
Or whatever they are.
Well, maybe they're just like, oh, hey, I'm exploring, and just want to leave. Cause what? We also saw a Willshaper in the Gem Archive say,
Yeah.
oh, I hate Urithiru, too many rules. So I feel like they don't particularly like rules.
Mhm.
I'm gonna
they're
go
like
explore.
frustrated with like all the arguing and
The
they
infighting.
like to do something.
I-
It's like they're resolute.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel
They make a decision and they stick with it.
I feel like they're also probably
Yeah.
pretty independent. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
kind of
Well,
that vibe I get.
The quote later goes on to say that is an intolerant view and that the order was the most varied, inconsistent in temperament, save for a general love of adventure, novelty, or oddity.
Okay, that's fair. I mean,
Yeah.
that makes sense that in that context that there would be a varied range of individuals.
It is kind of odd though that like doesn't seem to particularly describe Venli like super well to me. You know, like Eshonai seems to fit the archetype that you hear a lot more closely than Venli currently
Well,
does.
she absolutely
Amber
Eshonai did
was.
fit the order better. How there is a perception among some of the Spren that is like, yeah, it's fine to bond someone that matches perfectly with the order, but there is also something to picking someone at the start of the journey and bring them more closely in line with
Yeah.
the order.
Sure.
I just thought it was interesting because she's just like less archetypal than like Kaladin is of the Windrunners or Yasna of the Elsecallers, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, Tambur was Eshonai's spren. Like, Tambur chose Eshonai, not Venli. And it was only when Venli showed... Like, I am getting the impression that, at least at the very beginning, the reason Tambur went with Venli is self-preservation.
Very similar to Elhokar's
because-
Spren at the end of...
With Hoyd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
True.
I don't,
Because
this is not what I
Yulem
want,
was going...
but
Yulem was going to destroy her. Tambur her.
yeah, I totally agree. Like, once you've already transitioned, if the person you try to bond dies, then it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna die if I don't figure something out, so I'm gonna expand my worldview
Actually,
of what I wanted.
Not Yulem.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I did find it's from the Skyward Chicago signing. And the questioner was asking about Lift and how she doesn't seem to fit the mold of the Edge Dancers.
Right.
And Brennan says, I would say that in the eyes of some of the Spren, taking somebody who maybe doesn't quite fit the mold for your order, but has the heart that fits it is a better choice. And I think blah, blah, blah. And I think Lift and Windle and some of the text may be comparing what someone at the beginning of the journey to someone near the end of their journey.
Yeah.
So let's give her a little time.
That's reasonable, yeah.
Venli also... I think you're right, David. Even with that word of Brandon, Venli's like, is that really Willshapery? But you know what? I think we're going to find out. We're going to find out a crap load about it, so I'm
Yeah.
excited.
We're gonna get some
And she
oaths
does have
soon.
the
Yeah.
desire for like new knowledge. Like that
Yeah.
kind of
That's
goes
true. Yeah,
a different tack on like the
adventure.
knowledge and learning of the Truth Watchers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sure.
One is more exploration and the other one is more methodical, like...
Yeah. So, okay, now let's talk about their powers. They have
All right.
transportation, but we don't... Soul casting... Well,
No.
soul casting's exactly the same, but else calling could look a little different for Willshapers, perhaps, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Perhaps...
Same surges do manifest a bit differently. for different
So
orders.
if I just thought if Else Calling does have the like more teleportation aspect, I think the Willshapers would use that more, whereas Elsecallers would be more likely to just go straight into Shadesmar.
I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down.
I
I'm
can see
definitely
that.
down with that.
Makes sense.
I imagine the Elsecallers, yeah, they're the ones who physically go into Shadesmar.
Sure, yeah.
Then they also have another ability.
There's
They have
Close
some
to have
cohesion.
cohesion.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
supposed to... Okay, no, let's give everyone the skinny on why we are being so coy about this.
We're not
There
trying
is-
to be confusing, I promise.
There is a scene in Oathbringer where I can't remember if it's a Knight's Radiant or a Fused, uses the surge of cohesion to make the stone go like mud.
Oh, it's a night
It's a
rating.
Night Radiant.
Night
It is
Radiant.
in
And the
chapter-
Stormfather says to Dalinar, it's like, oh, that's that's the other surge you can use. No, it's not. No.
Let's bring it down.
Yeah.
Let's bring it down. We are all very angry about this.
Speak for
Where-
yourself. Brandon will work it out. I'm pretty chill about this.
Oh yeah,
wanna know
just
what
like he
Dalinar
worked
can
out
do.
warmth with Farrakemi. Totally a cognitive ability, right?
Feelings of unease. Okay.
So tell
So-
us about the issue.
Okay. So we come back after like half an hour
Yes.
of research break because this is confusing.
This is really confusing. And we thought we knew, but we needed time to
okay.
think about it.
We may jump.
Some of you
between,
needed.
Well,
Shut up.
take-
We may need. We may jump between Willshapers and Stonewards and Bondsmiths a little bit because it's a little mumbo jumbo-y, but location doesn't matter in the spiritual realm, so that's fine.
Basically, we don't. There's some confusion regarding tension and cohesion. If the
And which order has which surges?
because if the Willshapers have cohesion, then the Bondsmiths do not. And if the Willshapers have tension, then the Bondsmiths have cohesion.
Right. So Willshapers and Bondsmiths, Stonewards have both of them.
Yes. No issue with Stonewards.
Yeah, they're fine. But Bondsmiths and Willshapers need to divvy up those two surges,
Yes.
and it doesn't appear to be consistent how that's possible. Now,
With words of Brandon and stuff.
let's present the evidence.
Okay. Exhibit A.
Exhibit A, Ars Arcanum
Yes.
of let's say Oathbringer, but
Uh-huh.
any Stormlight book
Yes.
should work. The way the surges are ordered,
Yes.
starting from Windrunner and going down, all of the surges match the so Ars Arcanum is just a list,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And any two consecutive surges in that list give you an order.
Yes.
So adhesion and gravitation, Windrunner. Okay.
Yeah.
And we know that adhesion is the one shared between Bondsmiths and Windrunners,
Yes.
and gravitation is the. So
Yeah.
we can put them in order
Yeah, they're listed.
as they appear on
Clockwise.
the double eye. Yeah. So following this order, this sequence,
This order.
hey, not intended but intended.
Sorry.
We go to transformation, transportation, which we know to be the Elsecallers,
Yep.
and then
Yeah.
transportation cohesion must be the Willshaper.
Yes.
Okay, so Exhibit A, Ars Arcanum says Willshapers have cohesion.
And therefore, tension's the last one, which would be the other Bondsmith search.
Mhm.
Yes. Then we move on to Exhibit B, which is Chapter 38, aka the Info Dump chapter of Oathbringer.
Oh, wow. Wow, that really is. Because that's
Yeah.
the one that we talk about with the heralds the whole time. Yeah, wow.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, it's the best chapter of the book.
The lore chapter.
The lore chapter. So, Grace, do you wanna give us the skinny on
All right.
what happens there?
The Shardbearer pressed his hand against the incline leading up to the Voidbringer, and again the stone seemed to writhe. Steps formed in the rock as if it were made of wax and could flow and be shaped. And that Shardbearer I saw, a herald? No, merely a stone ward. The surge that changed the stone is the one you may learn, though it may serve you differently.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the Stormfather saying, "Hey, this surge you just saw is your other one, Dalinar."
Yes.
Okay, so turning stone soft is, according to the Stormfather, the other thing Bondsmiths can do, which, according to Exhibit A, is tension.
Yes.
And now we go to Exhibit C, Words of Radiance, Seattle. Okay, this is a signing.
Yep.
Where Brandon says, and this is on audio, it's not paraphrased,
That's
the Willshapers have to have cohesion because cohesion is the, air quotes, grab something solid and melt it and push it into any direction you want. It's the weak atomic force. It's, you can take this and push your hand in it and leave a handprint or things like that, and that's the Willshaper thing, not the Bondsmith thing. So Brandon says Willshapers are the ones that can turn stone soft. And I think there's another word that Brandon says, turning stone into putty. But this one is good enough. And so we have the inconsistency.
Yes.
Yeah.
According to the word of Brandon, Willshapers have cohesion, which is turning stone into putty. But according to the Stormfather, Bondsmiths have whatever they have, whatever the name of that surge is, but it obviously turns stone into putty.
And so, what's tension again? Let's recap tension.
Tension, according to another word of Brandon.
This is a very tense situation, guys.
we couldn't arrive at a cohesive argument. Tension, according to another word of Radiance signing, is the taking something flexible and making it rigid. Which at a previous point, Brandon has given the example of taking a piece of fabric and making it rigid, making it into a shield, let's say. There is a word of Brandon where somebody was asking whether tension is like surface tension. And so whether you can like run on water, because as you are running on the surface of the water, you are modifying the tension, and so it becomes like a solid. Yep.
Okay, and then there's the aspect of Dalinar fixing the statue in
Thalen City,
which like reformed it.
Which very much looks like unless he's doing some weird Bondsmith thing, okay?
Spiritual mumbo jumbo.
Which he's using spiritual tension and or cohesion.
Spiritual cohesion. Spiritual tension.
But we know spiritual cohesion. Wait, didn't he? No, he said spiritual connection, right? In the like when he learned the language.
Spiritual adhesion.
Adhesion.
It was spiritual adhesion.
Which is the other Bondsmith surge.
Yes.
Which is AKA connection.
Yes. In that.
Okay.
Well, the spiritual version.
Let's not look into it too much.
That one definitely Bondsmith ability. We know for
Yeah.
sure.
That's fine. So unless the fixing of the statue is a weird Bondsmith thing, then it must be, I feel, the same surge as the one the Knight Radiant in the Vision used, where like Dalinar was putting the blocks of stone next to each other and then just kind of turning them a little soft, and so they meld.
Yeah, right.
Okay. This is the one I don't understand why people have an issue with.
Yes.
I always accepted that as spiritual. Like, he literally heard the stone talking and being like, we want to join back together again. Like, I don't understand why that one is an issue other than just like, oh, he's a bondsmith, he unites stuff. They want to join back together, he gives them Stormlight, and they do.
And so he
But it's like
unites
as like the investiture put out, like if he was just using adhesion to stick it together, as soon as the investiture went away, it would just fall apart.
But
again.
what if he fixes it on a spiritual level, which then heals the statue?
Well, but that I think the problem is
that
people
should have been
assume-
made clearer in the text.
No. Ian, I think the problem is some people assumed he used adhesion there, and I don't think that was the case. I think it was he used whatever surge the Radiant in the Vision used.
Which he shouldn't have.
But
Unless Willshapers get a different ability.
yeah. So our options are, okay, if Ars Arcanum is correct,
Then the Bondsmiths have tension.
and Bondsmiths have tension, then nothing makes sense.
Yep. Right.
Then the Stormfather must also be wrong, I feel.
Yeah.
Great.
I mean, he hasn't bonded anyone since before the Recreants, and he merged with Honor, so I can accept him being a little senile.
Slivers are splinters. Hey guys. I don't care about the correct terminology. I'm the Stormfather.
His memory from that time is fuzzy. He says it all the time. It's fine.
Or the other option is Ars Arcanum is wrong, but that way lies madness.
Then the Bondsmiths would have cohesion, but then the Willshapers would have tension.
Yeah, which then invalidates the word of Brandon that says Willshapers must have cohesion, which
like makes sense.
may end up.
It makes sense that Willshapers would shape stone and make it into a putty and like change it in that way.
Yeah.
Like if you're shaping it, not like making it tense.
Yeah, and like if the Willshapers really were like one of the earliest power sets Brandon designed, then like that's gonna be a bummer for him if he has to like essentially
Oh,
switch
no.
what.
Yeah. No,
What
that's
works there.
the big issue here, I think. Also, I just remembered another problem
Oh,
with
great.
with this whole power set.
Great.
In that first WAB, Brandon says about cohesion. So he says, Willshapers, they have cohesion. That's the weak atomic force.
Yes, I have
Yeah,
an issue with
I
that
just noticed.
statement. I have a
The weak nuclear force is what he should have said, but okay.
well, and also like I don't think of making things into putty as the weak nuclear force. Like I
Also,
like that's
I
not
thought
what
this-
that says in my brain, but
this is
whatever.
this is what I thought you were going to say, which I just noticed. Cohesion in the Ars Arcanum, the surge of strong axial interconnection. Tension,
Yep.
surge of soft axial interconnection.
Yep, that's exactly what I was gonna go for. Yeah.
Chris
and-
is wrong. It's an in-world document.
And we now know that Axi is
Yes.
the in-world word for atoms.
Yes, that is correct.
So I would be very surprised if the strong axial interconnection is not the strong nuclear force.
Yeah,
the
right,
strong
right.
That'd be kind of fun. Here's what's gonna save Brandon: is the Stormfather saying, "Though it may serve you differently."
Same surge, different
Yes, so
application.
differently that it's an entirely different surge.
Thankfully, the Stormfather doesn't mention which surge it is.
Oh,
He doesn't
Yeah.
like say
That-
which
Because Brandon
tension and
didn't know.
cohesion.
Probably because Brandon didn't know, and he's just like, I don't know what this is.
Which
so
one
yeah.
is tension? Which one is cohesion? I don't remember.
If you were wondering, listeners, by the way, the strong and weak nuclear forces.
Yeah, have nothing to do with either of these abilities, just so we're totally clear.
I mean, maybe.
The strong nuclear force is what keeps protons together despite
Yeah,
their repulsion, because they're all
Which would-
positively charged. That's
Yeah.
what the strong force does. That it deals with things
Yeah.
very close.
Yeah.
shouldn't he be like messing with like the nuclei of atoms if he's actually manipulating that
Yeah,
force and not making things flexible?
And the weak nuclear force is what causes radioactive decay. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's not about
Yeah,
like, I turned this into putty. Like that's not.
it's-
It's
Yeah,
nothing to do with that at all.
It's not the nuclear force, though. It's the axial.
Oh, sorry.
Oh my god.
It's inspired by
It's the
the.
atomic.
Okay, it's people's
Um,
perceptions of the forces, and people in Rashar don't understand the strong and weak nuclear force either. So
No uranium on Roshar confirmed. Uranium decays into putty on Roshar. That's a fact.
But really, both the turning stone into putty and the turning rigid things into flaccid ones.
Wait,
they have to
you
do.
listed the same thing. Stone into putty and rigid things into flaccid things. One makes rigid things flaccid
Flexible.
and other things make flexible things rigid.
that
That's
should just be the same power. That's why I'm always confused.
well,
that's
it's adhesion and division are two different powers, and it's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Adhesion and
yeah.
division.
Well, adhesion would stick things together. and-
Adhesion and division.
Yeah.
Adhesion sticks things together, division splits things apart.
Right.
I guess.
yeah, like division is
Damn,
not.
Brandon.
Anyway, both of those have to do with the type of bonds between molecules and atoms, and
Sure.
the arrangement of atoms within
Yeah. This is-
within a molecule.
This is some solid state physics stuff, and I didn't take those courses, so I don't know.
So Brandon is gonna have to do some really powerful hand wavium here to make those make sense.
Well, we're gonna
And-
see Willshapers in the next book. Have fun, Brandon.
Well, she's just gonna focus on the transportation.
I'll pass the buck into the back five. It'll be fine.
by himself another 3+ years.
I'm trying to figure. Look, I'm sure after the Oathbringer came out, after these signings, Dragonsteel was like, wait, do we really need to change Oathbringer in the next? Do we need to make a retcon? And I have to imagine they listed out these abilities and figured this crap out. I hope.
I hope.
I wish we get a clarification in the meantime, but
Yeah. So here's what I want. This is the solution I'd like.
Okay.
I would like the Stormfather to be correct.
I do want the I would really like the Stormfather to be correct.
The problem is the Stormfather contradicts Ars Arcanum directly.
Right.
And so I think I can accept a revision to the Ars Arcanum more readily than I can accept revision to the Stormfather's words.
I totally agree. I am fine with the Ars Arcanum switching a thing, you know?
All of this means that the 2014 Word of Brandon is also going to be wrong.
Yeah.
And the Willshapers cannot have the turning stone into putty power. And Brand, so something in the outline of one of the Stormlight books might not work. Right? So this could be just a thing where Brandon's like, hey, Willshapers, they can do this thing. I think this is cool. But it may not be important to the plot. I hope it's not. That's the solution I want. The other option is the Stormfather is wrong. Everything else works out nicely. That feels more weird to me.
I mean, he has retconned things before. If he really needs to retcon it, then he will.
That is true.
I am of a different opinion from you. I would rather Brandon write the power set he is excited for and have the Stormfather be wrong.
I also want the Stormfather to be wrong because he's been wrong before and used terrible terminology.
If he retcons it, I just want it to be obvious that it is retconned. Like with the Words of Radiance ending where Brandon changed that, right? After it was published. Like, if he needs to change what the Stormfather says so that the Willshapers are as cool as he wants them to be, I'm fine with that. He just let's just make that clear that that's what it is, and people will say, "Man, which one is tension and which one is cohesion?" Because I don't remember it all, and you know that's fine.
I just think that, 7 books from now, we're going to see tension and cohesion a lot more, and most readers, you guys will still remember, but the average reader will have completely forgotten this conversation, and it won't really matter.
Well, and also a lot of these things on the Willshapers must have cohesion because they have this force. That's a signing, right? But when the Ars Arcanum has the Willshapers having cohesion, but it's listed as strong axial interconnection, where Brandon says, oh, they have cohesion, but it's actually weak axial interconnection. You're like, no! Like Darth Vader, no!
Well, he says weak atomic force, not axial connection.
Well, that's what that is.
It could be some weird thing where the strong axial force corresponds to the weak nuclear force. We don't know.
No. I would rather have the Stormfather be wrong than this flippy, floppy, floopy, poopy.
Yes, it's strong in the nuclei, but outside the nuclei.
When you go to the level of the atom.
Oh, no.
Hate it. Hate everything.
So that's the story. We don't really know what the Willshapers have by this metric. So we know they have transportation. It could work differently for them. But who knows what the other Willshaper power is?
Yeah,
maybe not the Stormfather.
The Stormfather does not know. But let's talk about Stonewards. They definitely have both tension and cohesion. 100%.
Yeah, they're the best. No problems there.
And the Stonewards, they Brandon has said, they have that ability of making things into clay, but also said that ability of making things into clay, that they can stretch it and stuff. If a thing is invested, then you wouldn't be able to do that.
Which makes sense.
That's kind of the Stonewardy ability or Willshapery. But it's definitely a Stoneward power.
Stoneward powers are very heavily resisted by anything that has the slightest amount of investiture.
Yep.
Yeah. because it's very easy to imagine how you can like turn somebody's lungs into like super rigid, and they like
Right.
if they could affect living things easily,
That would be way too OP.
they would be super deadly.
But there's the innate investiture, so not a worry.
Yeah. Which
Probably.
isn't a factor with soulcasting.
Well,
Different power soul casting's weird.
Yep. Sure.
We don't.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go
ahead.
ahead. No, you go ahead.
No. Well, that's awkward.
It's all cut anyway.
We know that they were kind of frontline soldiery type of knights. They were in Dalinar's Recreant's vision when he's in Feverstone Keep.
Yes.
They and the Windrunners
Yep.
are the two orders who kind of abandoned their shards together.
The Windrunners are more scouts, and the Stonewards, the one we haven't seen, they're the main soldiers.
The heavy infantry type of people.
Which makes sense if both of their abilities are making things flexible and then making things rigid. Like you could imagine like forming rock to like defend you almost.
They have super manipulation over the battlefield around them.
Yeah.
They're good field engineers.
Yeah.
Sure. They are appropriately, the essence associated with them is rock and stone.
Whoa, no, wait.
Talus.
Oh, okay.
Talus is the essence, and rock and stone are the soulcasting properties of topazes.
And they are dependable, resourceful.
We know that the patron herald of the Stonewards is Staln.
Yep.
Telenelat, Elin, Stone Sinew.
Yep.
Which is interesting because Sinew is the essence for Bondsmiths.
Oh.
Stones. Look, the essences and that table is an in-world construct.
Somebody really messed up that in-world construct.
He sinews stone? I don't know.
Rock Talus.
Rock. I am telling a lot. Rock Talus.
It's like, I understand why his name is Stone Sinew, but it's like...
Well, yeah, obviously.
Okay.
But yeah, very, very dependable guy.
He is very dependable. I'm pretty excited for the Stonewards, just because thinking about, now that we've talked about tension and cohesion, those things together. I don't know how Willshapers having transportation in one of those would work at all, but sure. But Stonewards, that makes perfect sense in my brain. Those two abilities being very complementary. I'm in. That makes sense in my brain.
Very, very much the same way transportation and transformation work together, but in the Stoneward surges are very physically complementary.
Yeah.
And the Elsecallers ones are very cognitively
complementary.
Mm-hmm. And we get some of that with the Windrunners as well. Like pressure and gravitation go well together.
Sure, yeah.
In the
with some of their powers, if you don't think about it, like lashing two things together is an adhesion power, but it sounds an awful lot like something that could be gravitation.
Yeah, it feels. You know what it feels like? It feels cohesive.
Hey, no tension in this podcast.
None. So I don't know. I like the Stonewards. Oh, we also know that the Stoneward spren is kind of this rocky spren that we see in Celebrant that kind of had like molten stuff under its skin. I think that was confirmed, but we don't know its name.
Yes, it's been confirmed.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't know its name, but yeah, it kind of looks like a rock golem with like a magma core.
Yeah.
I kind of imagined the thing, but
yeah.
I mean, if you add like molten
Who has
core.
seen Moana?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Kind of like that.
But like more rock, less flame hair.
Yeah. But outside of that, do we know anything else about...
There's always that one oath that Brandon revealed early, the whole "I will stand when others fall" thing that people like to associate with the Stonewards, but I don't know if that has been explicitly confirmed to be a Stoneward ideal.
It has not.
No, it has not.
Okay, right, because he did reveal that as a ideal. That does feel like a Stonewardy one going through our long, laborious list of all the Radiants. That feels pretty Stonewardy.
Could be,
especially
could
since
be a
they
Dalinar oath.
tend to follow Taln and go into fights that are losing battles.
Yeah.
And then win them.
And then
Or die trying. Or die
Or
trying.
both, yeah.
But yeah, it could be a Dalinar oath. It feels most Stonewardy, but I can
yeah.
picture Dalinar under that.
But otherwise, we have no clue. I was like, who's gonna be our Stoneward in there? It's like, oh, it's Town. Because Town's getting books, so all right, cool. Like, which one? But like, I just don't think of heralds as, like, main characters yet in my brain. Like, but...
No, it's going to be Ash. Ash is going to become a Stoneward.
and Town's gonna be a Dustbringer. Easy.
To be fair, Town being the patron of the Stonewards doesn't mean that he will be a Stoneward himself.
True, but I just needed to think about that in my brain. I was like, was that a different character that we don't know? But it's like, oh, right, it's probably Town.
Probably, yeah.
Since we don't know anything about these, and we won't for a bit, we're done with Stonewards, and there's one more. I'm sure there's nothing to talk about on this itsy bitsy three person max order. This is not too much going on.
The smallest.
The smallest, not too much to discuss. Oh wait, they're the Bondsmiths. They're actually kind of a big deal.
Yeah. Kind of weird.
Kind of weird.
So Bondsmiths either have tension or cohesion, but definitely have adhesion. And they have very spiritually abilities. They bond.
They bond the Stormfather, the Night Watcher, and the sibling.
Yes.
Is the sibling confirmed?
I don't think that's
No.
confirmed.
I mean,
it's not directly.
Everyone
confirmed.
believes it,
but like
it's not been
the
said.
Stormfather.
no, because it is confirmed. It is confirmed because Dalinar asked the Stormfather about the other Storm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he
Bondsmith's
says
friend,
the other sibling.
There is another who slumblers.
Yeah, and there's another
okay.
sibling. Like that's what
It
Yeah.
is.
I think
Okay,
it's 100% true, but I just don't like. Some people would argue that it's not confirmed.
Yeah, well, it's
I
confirmed
will-
enough for me.
I'll say it's.
It's confirmed enough for the Coppermind, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
If it's not outright canon, it is like 95+%.
It's like 99.
Yeah, it's just
Sure,
Brandon hasn't
sure.
literally said the word of Brandon. Yes, the sibling is definitely a Bondsmith's friend. Like he has
Yeah.
not said that in that explicit manner, but I can add 2 + 2. The Bondsmiths, very powerful, but the thing is that our main Bondsmith Dalinar is also a very unique Bondsmith in that he also has the remnants of Honor's powers, and Bondsmiths couldn't do this renewing sphere thing in the past.
Yep. Nor could they summon Honor's perpendicularity.
Oh, sorry. So summon Honor's perpendicularity as
Which then as a byproduct, as a side effect, renews spheres. Although maybe he doesn't need to like do the whole unity thing. Like presumably when he's supercharged. Oh, he can supercharge radiance.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
He has the ability of definitely a bondsmithy ability, and not the honor stuff is the spiritual adhesion, which gives him a connection. He can make a spiritual connection to like learn other languages, which is kind of how the visions worked, that they all spoke in the same language. So that was cool.
The medallions in Scadrio era too.
Yeah, that's connection as well.
Well, that's just
Tap.
ferrochemical.
But it's connection.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's not just the medallions. It's a ferrochemical power.
Yeah. Yes.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Fair. And when Shallan creates the big, like, super nice 3D map of Roshar for the first time, she, like, Dalinar passes by her, and she reports feeling like a tug from him, which is presumably also him accidentally forming a connection with her, and that somehow shares knowledge of what the Stormfather sees.
Yeah. The Bondsmiths get many abilities due to the power of spiritual mumbo jumbo.
That is true.
But like, I really enjoyed how the Bondsmiths had adhesion. How is this surge going to be useful? No, spiritual adhesion actually extremely useful. So I really liked that. And so when we think about like the Willshapers, how they use transportation, or really like any of these orders with how do their surge work differently for different orders, there can be a big divergence potentially.
Or it could be just a Bondsmith thing where
Well, yeah, I was just saying as
surges just work
sure
differently.
Sure.
We know Malishi was a bondsmith.
Yes, Malishi, the person who imprisoned Ba Edo Mishram, presumably in a perfect gem, which was then maybe tossed. Who knows where? We don't know. But that was also foreshadowing just the idea that, oh hey, Dalinar can imprison unmade.
Another Bondsmith has done that.
Yes.
Therefore.
Yes. We kind of talked about the other Bondsmith ability.
Yeah.
Whichever one it is.
That one. That one. You know the one, right? You know the one.
The one that ends with ION.
Yeah.
SION.
Yep.
Do we want to talk about the weirdness where it says like it's seditious to try to convince the Bondsmiths to grow to more than 3 members, or is that too?
Oh
out
yes,
there?
that was a thing in the Words of Radiant, in the in-world Words of Radiance.
Yeah.
Wait, I do
Would you
not
like me to
remember
read it?
this.
Why don't you read us a quote?
Okay, here we go. This comes from the chapter 44 epigraph. But as for the Bondsmiths, they had members only 3, which number was not uncommon for them, nor did they seek to increase this by great bounds.
Whoa.
For during the times of Medusa,
Madassa.
Medusa?
I'm just on autopilot. Only one of their order was in continual accompaniment of Earthiru and its thrones. Their spren was understood to be specific, and to persuade them to grow to the magnitude of the other orders was seen as seditious.
Okay, so what does that word mean?
Like treasonous, sort of.
Yeah.
This excites me. I forgot about this, but I'm hoping that Xia Anat forms a Nahal bond with someone.
Ooh.
And if she did, I can see that being another bondsmith spren. Specifically Navani, because I want the combination of like corrupting spren with like the favorite queen of Fabrials to like have a bond.
Oh,
I
this
want
sounds really
Shanat
cool.
to reverse corrupt herself and
Well, okay.
become
so
analogous to
be
Bless.
a remade.
Remade.
I'm not making a pun.
It was
like
made and then unmade and then remade. That's a future line of Stormlight 7. You heard it here
But yeah.
first.
ouch! I spoiled it.
Because I just forgot about it. I did not remember this quote at all, but then this like when we read it, I was excited because we know like corrupted truth spren are still truth watchers, so I can definitely see like
they're not
unmade
truth spren.
or not
They're
or
not
whatever
truth
they
spren.
are, whatever they're called, truth watchers
Whatever.
spren.
Yeah, I mean we don't know what they are.
Yeah, we don't know their names, so I can definitely see like bonding and unmade being like the same power level, kind of a corrupted bondsmith type thing.
Yeah.
As seditious.
Seditious.
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
Yeah, just in case you want to know what seditious means, it means inciting or causing people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch, or
A shard.
a shard. Because, like honor and cultivation, maybe they don't like that. Because another way of seeing this is asking honor and cultivation to, like, make one of these other, like, super spren. Not official
Sure.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do not use the word God spren.
I
Yeah.
use Godspren.
Ian
It's-
What are you
doesn't
gonna
like
do? What are you gonna do? Bunk.
Remove all mention of it from the Copper-Minded Arcanum.
Oh, but
I do have that ability.
I don't do that in either one of those places.
Good.
That actually is a really interesting point that just like the synergy, you could imprison unmade, or maybe an unmade could give you
guess,
constantly
like,
power.
Though
Yeah,
I think
like-
the only one that actually would is Shot.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Like I'm not none of the others would. I'm just saying like
Hey.
if bonding a spren of
Hey,
that
guys.
level.
Ba Edo Mishram is really into connection, okay?
Yeah.
She is.
But
Like-
so one of the things I was thinking about yesterday actually was that I think part of the reason why Shauna would be so open to it is because she has the most experience with honor and cultivation as power. It's like she's
True.
going in there and injecting odious investiture. It's like she has like firsthand experience of that power.
Yeah. No, I 100% like that idea
That'd be sweet.
and want this to happen.
I'm like on it, but that's just me being me.
You're off podcast.
It's okay. Well, I'm only an audio at this point, so there's
Yeah.
not too much more to take
You're
away.
only a
He can
glass.
literally walk away and
Yeah.
we wouldn't know.
Yep.
I mean, it's true. You don't know what I'm. Never mind.
You know what you look like. You don't have to be wearing clothes right now, but
Ugh.
But
I'll go on the record as saying I'm fully dressed. So we can just move on.
Okay.
For the record, he claims to be fully dressed.
Allegedly.
I mean, he said earlier that he was wearing a hat under his headphones,
that's
and
true,
why
he
would you
did,
lie
he did.
about something
Why would
like
you
that?
wear a hat
Yeah,
with
that's
no
true.
other clothes? That doesn't even make any sense.
Well,
I'd be a lot of trouble to put the hat
Well.
on. Anyway.
let's not.
But we know that Yelignar bonds people and they don't turn into bondsmiths. Maybe he's just a wimpy unmade.
Well,
That's a
Yelignar's
different type of
bond
bond, though.
is kind of weird. That's more of the, I don't know. It's
It's
weird.
It's not a,
Yeah,
it's not as a
just-
hell bond.
I don't think an unmade in their current state could make an unmade.
But we know
A
that
bondsmith.
what's his face tried to bond Shallan too. What was it? The Midnight Mother. She tried to
Rishafir?
remove pattern and insert
Oh, that's
herself.
true. That is true.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
That is true.
I don't
Maybe she would've
know if
failed.
that was technically even possible.
Well,
like she was
yeah.
definitely trying, but
I think Brandon confirmed that it was.
But like, we don't know what sort of Nahel bond that would form, or if it would even be called a Nahel bond, or anything like
Yeah.
that.
I just got lots of questions. Like I don't see why. Like would someone who bonded Shallan not even like get necessarily the same searches as the other god spren, or like why do those three spren grant those searches? Like it gets kind of arbitrary at a certain point. But
Well, and even without going to the unmade and maybe Jeanette, we have no idea what the other two bondsmiths could possibly do.
Mhm.
it's true. They could be distinct in other ways.
Because to me, it would feel really strange if the other two have kind of the same power set as Dalinar's.
It does seem a little weird considering their different
Sense
spren.
sense the perpendicularity thing. But then they have to have adhesion, and they have to have the.
Look, we have
Legion? Yeah.
three spiritual, cognitive, and physical. There are three bondsmiths. Dalinar gets spiritual adhesion, someone gets cognitive, and someone gets physical. There you go.
But Dalinar already has physical adhesion.
It's
That's
just
true.
honestly, it's just weird for me to think about someone bonding the Night Watcher at all. Like that is crazy to me, and I definitely want that to happen. I want to see that on screen. A character who
Yeah.
does bond the Night Watcher. That sounds amazing.
In a way, we haven't seen anything of the sibling, but it feels more normal to bond with them. Because we kind of suspect they were hanging out in Urithiru and they're kind of like powering the Fabrial that is the city. And so we kind of have an idea of how they would fit in this whole thing. But the Night Watcher is so weird.
Yeah, the Night Watcher is super weird. Maybe the Night Watcher is more weird because because she doesn't have a friend bond. She doesn't bond with a human, and so doesn't understand humans anymore.
Cultivation's trying.
Well, yeah, but
That is
maybe
true.
it would probably be a lot faster for the Night Watcher to do that if the Night Watcher bonded someone, and Cultivation's maybe like, no, you're not doing that.
Oh no, definitely, because the Stormfather says that his bond with Dalinar helped him understand
Absolutely.
the Heralds better and humans better.
Yep.
Mhm.
And that was like a few months.
Yep. Also, thinking about it, the Bondsmith oaths, the ones Dalinar is swearing, how would that work with Bondsmith swearing Night Watchery things? Like, that just... Like, I will unite instead of divide. Like, oh yeah, the Night Watcher's super compelled by that. Like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, their ideals are pious and guiding,
Yeah.
and so it feels leadershipy, kind of, but not in the leading.
The spiritual
the
leadership role.
Yeah, more. The Windrunners feel to me like they take leadership to the smaller scale,
Right.
like a squad or maybe an army or like a. I mean,
I'm just
I mean,
call it
true,
squads.
yeah,
Bridge
yeah.
to-
Many squads.
a bridge. Whereas the Bondsmiths take the global leading nations and worlds.
And I mean, I think Bondsmiths obviously kind of have to take a broader view if there's only 3 of them.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Also, Bondsmiths do not get shards.
But they
That
do
is
get a
true.
glowy pillar of light they can use to activate Oath Gates, maybe.
Oh, yeah. The
Never-
Stormfather did not like when Dalinar tried to shove
Yeah.
him
Oh, yeah.
into the...
Has Brandon explicitly said they don't get shards?
Well, the Stormfather says that. At the end
He
of
says,
Windrunner.
I will not
Yes.
become a
Yes.
shard blade for you.
Okay.
I think he said that they don't get shard blades. But
Yeah,
not
that's right.
about
The thing that Brandon
Yeah. I
said
think
was
he's
they
gonna
don't
get
get shard
blades.
blades.
Oh, I've searched.
And
for
I
it.
think that's
They're
more
above.
of a, like, Spren deciding that, not because there's a mechanical reason they can't.
Sure.
As is, like, because Dalinar does sort of start summoning a blade.
Sure.
But there's
I
probably issues with a spread that huge, that fundamental becoming a blade.
Yeah.
There's a great comic about that exists. That
Yes,
I've seen.
there is.
Oh, there
Oh,
is?
with the
My entire
Lord.
chameleon.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's great.
I think they could get plate, though.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Theoretically.
Well, I mean-
Depends what plate is, but, you know.
There were all those glorious friends flying towards Dalinar at the
That's
climax
true.
of
That is
Windrunner.
true. That's true.
So my impression of that was that the glory spren were just pure honors investiture, and like that was him bringing the perpendicularity together. Yeah.
Sure, that's fair as well. But...
And so when the various Words of Brandon and Inkwell thing, or like deleted scene things, say that honors perpendicularity moves, my impression was that, well, there are glory spren everywhere, and so
I
That was
don't
never
think
my
I agree with
impression.
that at all.
Yeah.
Well, the
I
glory
think they were
spren do
being
kind
drawn
of collect.
to, like, what was about to happen with his
That's-
partial ascension or whatever
That's also
has
true.
happened.
they
Like,
they
he
do
was
turn
in his
into
glory.
that pillar.
Yeah.
No,
They
that
didn't
no, that
become
they
the
turn
pillar.
into the pillar. The pillar just lights up. They don't become the pillar, unless I'm misremembering it
No, they
entirely.
swirl around the pillar,
Yeah.
but they don't become the pillar.
I don't think that is correct.
I don't think that is correct.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Dalinar has always had like an affinity for glory spren, though. It seems like they're
true.
like even like the Way of Kings, he was.
And I know that I have seen true glory.
Hey,
There you go.
except that has nothing to do with him.
that,
Wait, no.
that doesn't have
He
anything to
saw
do
the
with
true glory.
Yeah, you
when
know,
they came out of the chasm.
didn't the glory spren come to him when he saw them come out?
Maybe I don't know
I
about
think
that.
so.
I don't remember.
No.
Words of Rage is a long time ago now.
I know.
No, I don't think
rem-
so.
I thought I remember that happening. Like that was why.
And Dalinar also does the thing when he's in the vision with Venli, where like he's like clawing out
That
some
is
rock,
weird.
and there's like some lines around his hand, and like some people think that's like protoplate, maybe kind of forming. Some people think no.
Yeah.
It does. I mean, Dalinar literally was just like, you know what I'm going to use against this army? I'm going to bring a book. That's what I'm going to do at the Battle of Phelan Field. I got the Way of Kings, so it's all good. I'm all
Mhm.
good.
That's all he needed.
Well, that's
I
true,
just-
but-
And Odium also thought it was important enough to him, to Dalinar,
to light.
to blast it away.
Yeah.
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 And to be fair, he did need a perfect gemstone too.
That's true.
Well.
Yeah. That's-
That is a very good point.
that was a surprising amount of that end battle was like, you need to get that gem. That is very important. I was like, oh wow, this is kind of a lot for that. For specifically retrieving the King's Drop. Man, it's just so weird to think about Bondsmiths of like the Night Watcher saying the same ideals. I maybe the Bondsmith ideals are more customized to the individual of these
I
three
would say
spren.
they are. Yeah. I would guess that the Night Watcher Bondsmith is going to be more about, for the lack of a better word, cultivating the properties of man into something.
It just like if when Dalinar was on top of the city and was saying, yo, I'm gonna bond you, Stormfather. What you gonna do about it? And then the Stormfather just rumbles as a challenge and Dalinar says, oh, I'm gonna unite instead of divide. Why would the Night Watcher care about that? That's not what the Night Watcher does at all, really.
Well, I would concede that there is a fair amount of variance in Bondsmith
Yes.
oaths.
Yeah.
I do think the fundamental, like, what is this oath about is going to be the same.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that, but like I think they'll just be phrased very differently.
Sure. Yeah. No.
Which, like, we
that's
know that is more or less true for any oath,
Yeah.
for any order. But I do think we'll see this most extreme version of that with the Bondsmiths.
Yeah. Even more individualized, perhaps, than Lightweavers, but maybe not. It's just like you have to.
I don't think so. It's like
you have to convince these
Lightweavers
three
are going to be
very
close
different
to
spren. I don't know. It's kind of weird to think about. I just want to see someone try and bond the Nightwatcher. That sounds awesome. I don't know exactly what that would look like, but I'm really excited to find out.
I'm more excited about the sibling
That's
because
fair.
that means Urithiru is going to turn on.
Well, that
and
is
I
also
really-
great.
Yeah.
I definitely do want to see that as well, but I think the weirder one will be the Nightwatcher, and so I'm excited to see that because that will be weird.
So we all think that for sure all three of the Spren, like we'll see the other two Bondsmith Spren bonded in this series. Because I've kind of been like iffy on on the Night Watcher. Like maybe she'll get bonded, maybe she won't. You know?
I think she has to.
There's only
I-
3.
By the end of book 10, yes.
It's kind of like a promise to the readers. Like,
Yeah.
if we don't see that, then we need to get a substantial amount of bonded Night Watcher in the past somehow.
Maybe
And
Malishi, flashbacks.
Well, but we kind of know that Melishi was bonded to the Stormfather.
yeah.
Do we? Where does it?
Well, since Malishi was the Bondsmith during the Recreants, and the Stormfather was bonded during the Recreants.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't remember where it said.
Yeah,
it's
and there was only one Bondsmith of that generation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
right,
like
right.
it's mentioned that he was wounded during the Recreants, which
It's not a direct quote, but it's kind of a 1+1+1 type.
Right, no, yeah. I was like, oh, I remember that theory. Then I forgot that theory, but then it's like, right, yes, that's right. Malishi was bonded with the Stormfather, yes.
Mhm.
Has to be.
And so we'd need to go back to maybe the last Desolation.
I guess I just never felt like it was particularly a promise. Like it was just like, oh, like that's another option.
I just think that Bondsmiths are clearly very important.
Mhm.
Granted, Dalinar will be the most important of those, given the state of honor, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But I feel like there is a promise that we will get more cultivation-y stuff, and we will also,
Oh, for sure.
and there is also the promise of what the crap's going on with Urithiru and seeing that turn on. I believe those are promises, and
Urithiru will happen, I'm certain.
but
Night
I
Watcher, I'm more
just feel like
Flexible.
what is a good way for us to see more of cultivation? Well, when a point of view character bonds the Night Watcher, we will learn a lot about it. I'll be good.
so I don't know if it's going to be a point of view character.
I want to see it be a point of view character, but yeah, you're right. It totally doesn't have to be.
Yeah, true. I do feel it's a promise though, because of how unique and significant all the Bondsmiths are.
Mhm.
It's just I would feel disappointed if we spent all this time in these books and then we don't know about the Night Watcher bond.
And it's like, I think there has to be 3. There's either has to be 1 or there has to be 3. Because if there's just 2, like and they disagree, that's dead meat.
Unless the Night Watcher is somehow dealt with.
Yeah, maybe the Night
Ooh.
Watcher dies or something like that. That's possible.
Yeah,
or
that'd be-
something.
That probably would be fun
Yeah.
for them.
No, but
And then Jana takes her place.
yeah, maybe.
I do know that some people think Teravangian might bond the Night Watcher.
What? Oh,
Yeah, but screw that guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
True.
agreed.
Like,
I feel
I'm not saying I think that. I'm just saying people do think, like, with this whole unite the worlds thing, and he did
Sure.
visit the Night Watcher in the past.
Sure.
That he has a might.
There's the theory that he's cultivation's champion, which I don't disagree. I disagree with.
Huh.
If anything, I think Dalinar could be cultivation's champion, but
Huh.
Nah,
that's
it's Lift.
not a topic for this.
That's an interesting idea. That is not this show, but I just think with us getting so much unmade in just Oathbringer, we got 7 more of these suckers. I feel like we got time to bond 2 more big spren. I don't think that's asking to that much. Unless, like, all the Radiants, like, get horribly murdered at book 5, and then then like maybe there's not an opportunity to. That's fine.
And then we're back to square one. It's just heralds and bunch of people with sticks and stones.
That's the opening of book 6. Lift has her she gets to use friction powers, but only uses a stick. That's her what. Well, I guess she has a blade, but whatever.
I mean,
She has a baton.
yeah, Wendell basically refuses to be anything other than a stick, so.
Well, is it him refusing or her not?
It's a combination of them both.
Any
Yeah,
last
I think
thoughts on
he
the
prefers
Bondsmiths?
Alright.
Do they get a resonance?
Do
Presumably,
they?
summoning honors perpendicularity. Boom, did it.
Nah.
No.
That's a joke.
Definitely not.
That's a joke. That's a joke, Ian.
Oh,
That's a joke.
No, I'm
We-
making that clear to like
Well, that's true.
all.
The listeners. That's fair.
We didn't talk about the last few orders resonances.
Yeah, but we don't know anything about them.
Well, we don't know anything about the Willshapers and
Stonewards.
the Stonewards. Elsecallers, we may know a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like we still know so little about them.
There was an idea back in the day, and I
By Wob.
was it?
Yes.
I was gonna say I don't think that.
I thought it was the Skybreakers that was explicitly debunked.
Well,
Yeah, it's a
I
Skybreaker.
think there's a I thought there was a Wob where people combined. I know it was mentioned in a Wob. I thought it
Yeah.
got to.
For the record, we think Elsecallers could have an excellent sense of direction as their
GPS.
as their resonance.
Yeah.
What
And this
An
comes
exciting
from
power.
yeah.
Resonance
this comes
don't
from,
need to be exciting.
No.
It comes from the Words of Radiance epilogue, where Yasna pops into the physical realm and appears to instantly know where the nearest village is,
Mhm.
or at least the direction of the nearest village. And so people were speculating for a while that, hey, maybe they have a built-in GPS and that's their resonance.
If that is their resonance, then I will retract the Windrunners having the lamest resonance. If a compass can replace that power.
I no longer think. Well, no, I mean you're detecting villages, right? But
Village. I'm just imagining like the list of
VPS.
powers in an Ars Arcanum. It's just like, this elementic metal detects village. that's just all it says, and that is hilarious to me.
maybe detects village.
Yeah, maybe.
But no, I think that could now be explained more easily with if she just popped out of the same place in the cognitive realm.
You would see a lot of the flaming candles where people are.
She would remember where the lights are.
Yeah. It's not a big deal. So, I don't
Um,
really think that anymore. But resonances
but-
don't need to be as big as we initially thought they would be. So,
Yeah.
But in terms of Bondsmith resonance, I could see like them having like a weird individual resonance with all the orders, like they do with Shalon. You know, like he could find some way to interact with the other types of radiance.
I don't know if I would call that a resonance, but like Bondsmiths have that ability of combining powers in bizarre ways and by making a spiritual connection. I believe that. I don't know if I would call that a resonance, but I get what you're saying.
I'm gonna say it's a candidate to be, like,
There's-
not knowing what it is.
Sure, it's a candidate. I think a
Oh,
lot
sure.
of what they do
see.
is just gonna be explained with its spiritual
Spiritual
weirdness.
mumbo jumbo.
Da-da-da-da.
I'm gonna go back to Mistborn where all the powers are well defined.
Well, I mean,
Right.
that's true, but yeah.
Until you get to Hemorrhagy,
Might steal
Yeah, true.
Destiny.
might steal destiny,
Any
which
last
may or may not be fortune.
Any last thoughts on the Knights Radiant? We did it, guys. We got through all 10. And I'm glad we did these last 3 and we didn't split this episode because that tension cohesion would be even more confusing if you had to listen to 2 podcasts to
Oh
get
yeah,
that.
no, we could never do that
No,
in
no,
episodes.
No. All right, guys. It's time. We did it. We got through all 10, 3 episodes. Great work, guys. But we hope you enjoyed listening to us talk about these, and we hope that you're also very tense about the Surge issue.
Or at least confused. We'll settle for confused.
Confusion
That's where
is
I'm
the
at.
11th Surge, actually.
The 11th search. It's the one that when you bond John at. That's the one you get.
Well, you know what time it is, guys? It's time for Who's That Cosmere Character?
This character is from Roshar.
Menace.
Tien.
Tom.
Braze.
Hoid in drag on a horse.
It's time for Who's That Cosmere Character? Caw.
All right, so listeners, you know how the game is played. You send me an email to whosthatcosmerecharacter@gmail.com with 5 clues relating to a character. I read each clue aloud to our contestants, and after each clue, they get a chance to guess who's that Cosmere character.
All right. What do we got
What if you
first?
whispered the clues instead? Just ASMR the sucker.
No. That's hard to hear on the audio.
This character is Rosharan.
No.
Okay.
Don't do that.
This first one was sent in by the Invested Beard.
Ah,
hi, Beard.
Yes, he goes to Discord.
I applied a beard balm today to my beard that he recommended to me
A beard
a few
bond?
months back.
Balm.
Balm.
What spren grants you beard abilities? Is it tension or is it cohesion?
It's
All right.
progression.
Ah, yes, of course. Obviously.
Clue 1.
growth.
Don't you want a very rigid beard, though?
Clue 1. This character is stocky.
See? Rigid.
Is what?
Stocky.
He's someone who stalks
Oh.
a lot of people, or he
No.
That's what I heard.
Oh, no, no, no.
Lane.
It is not Relaine.
Ooh.
Ham.
It is not Ham.
Breeze.
It is not Breeze.
He's portly.
About
Whatever.
human
Yeah,
the
he's
Kolos.
portly, not stocky.
Look,
It is not Human Kolos.
where's the line between portly and stocky? I want a rigid, quantifiable, hard line
The-
here, okay?
I think
The
partly
line-
it officially becomes unattractive.
It's.
Wow! Wow!
I mean.
I think Rianne would disagree with you.
Yeah.
True.
Wow!
And she's apparently banging. So.
You're
Fair enough.
all beautiful just the way you are, everyone. You're all beautiful just the way you are because you're listening to this show.
Mhm.
And your
Clue
spiritual
2.
ideal is amazing.
Clue 2. This character's name is a lie.
Name is a lie?
Yes, their name is a lie.
Is there a
Void
character
Stocky?
called Eli?
There's ILA. That doesn't make any sense. It was
But
almost,
close
it
enough.
was almost a joke, but it didn't work.
Points for effort.
Did I put in effort? I don't know. The name
Um,
is a lie.
I'm gonna assume that to mean like an alias,
Yeah.
or like they go by captain. I don't remember which captain it was, so I'm gonna go with
Okay.
Aradel.
It is not Aradel.
That doesn't make any
Who's
sense.
Captain Aradel?
What the one who got eaten by a Kandra?
What?
No.
Goradel? Aradel is the lieutenant governor in the second era.
Oh, was that okay? Yeah, I mixed them up.
Becomes like, doesn't he
and
become the
and
mayor?
Goradel didn't get eaten by a Kandra either.
Yeah, neither of them was eaten by a Kandra.
Wasn't one of them though?
No, I don't think so. One of them got killed by Marsh and died in a field, and the other one's still alive.
No. In Era 2 is what I meant.
Aradel is not dead,
I think
unless we don't know that.
I think what Evgeni is saying, David, is that he is thinking of a person who is clearly not named Aradel, because you're totally right. But Evgeni's thinking, is there another character named by who was eaten by a Kandra? But also, yeah, I swear to God, if the next clue is this character was eaten by a Kandra, I'm gonna be pissed. But I don't think that's the case. That was like the episode where you guys are like, it's the People's Serene train in Elantris, and then I'm just like trying
I
to
know.
the women that Serene trained to fight.
Oh,
And you
yeah.
guys like got that on like clue 1 or 2, but just didn't know which one, and then it turned out to be Torino.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's what that's referring to here. I have no idea what this clue means, so I'm gonna pass.
I'm gonna go with Sixth of the Dusk.
It is not Sixth of the Dusk.
Oh no.
I'm gonna just assume that pattern is considered to be stocky and go with pattern. Since his name is Pattern.
It's not pattern.
Wasn't he a
He
long
likes
fin?
lies.
No.
He likes
Yeah.
lies.
He's the opposite of.
Okay.
I do
Clue
know the
3.
line between thin and stocky. That's usually pretty
Clue
easy to
3.
tell.
This character likes to tell stories.
Wit? Hoyd?
It is not Wit.
He's not.
Beard?
Stocky.
It is Beard.
Nah.
Wait,
he's-
I feel like this is the second time we've had Beard. And
It
it's
is. You had
Oh,
Beard
yeah.
somewhat recently,
Yeah,
but I
we
just
have.
liked that this was sent in by the invested Beard, and it's
Okay,
Beard.
okay.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
okay, okay. See, I didn't think of that because I actually remember editing the one that we had Beard as the answer, so I got thrown off by that.
Yeah, and the clues on Beard, like the previous time, were also weird.
They were weird, yes, because there was one that's like,
I think they were both good though.
there was something about like Rock's nickname and...
No, because
Beard.
Rock likes to shave beards.
No, this
So-
character's name is a nickname or something. It was something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What were the other clues?
Clue 4, this character is an atheist. Clue 5, this character protected a wall.
Okay.
Okay. I don't
We
know
would
if
have
they
got
were
there
gonna
next
be.
time for sure.
Yeah.
Probably. Wasn't Yasna?
No.
Okay, yeah. Not that many atheists in the Cosmere.
I guess that's true.
Difficult when gods walk the.
I mean,
you just...
it's not that difficult.
I mean,
Yasna
you just
doesn't have an
believe
issue.
that something's very powerful, but that just doesn't mean that you have to worship it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those
I guess
are
the cast of
very
Arrow
different
1,
things.
we're all kind of like, we don't believe in the Lord Ruler.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
True. That's true. Accurate. They had pretty good reason to not care about the Lord Ruler, though. They weren't like super fans of that.
The oppression.
Yeah, mostly the oppression. That was kind of a main thing.
Yeah, but they still considered him a god.
Yeah, but they didn't worship him. Like you can.
Yeah, but atheism is not about worshipping. It's about
Brandon's
believing
referred to
in-
them as being more or less atheists. And I think they like refer to themselves as that.
Welcome to Shardcast, where we say, "What is atheism?"
For the record, it's if they believed he was a god but didn't want to worship him, they wouldn't be atheists.
Mhm.
They
That's
just wouldn't
what I'm
be
saying.
devout. No, I'm agreeing with you, Argent.
Oh,
Okay.
Welcome.
But they've been
to-
called atheists by Brandon in the book.
Next week's podcast will be "What is atheism?" I'll look into the Cosmere. That's not what the next.
No,
episode's
that's
gonna be.
2021.
Right before Oathbringer. I keep doing that. It's like, oh yes, when Oathbringer comes out, Stormlight 4
Rhythm of War is the
Alright.
time has no meaning to us
in
anymore.
the spiritual
Clue
realm.
1,
Clue 1 on the
Okay.
next one. Okay, great.
this character is male.
Oh, Hoyd. Menace. No, not Hoyd. Menace.
It is not Menace.
Gah! One day I'll be right.
Tien.
It is not Tien.
race.
It is not Race.
What about Tensoon?
It is
Ooh.
not Tensoon.
Alright.
Clue 2, this character is dead.
Kelsier.
It's not Kelsier.
Goradale.
It is not Gordon.
Not Aerodel.
Iodon.
It is not
Ooh,
Iodon.
Alright.
The original Lord Verneau.
Oh,
It is not.
Wow.
The original Lord Renault. Clue 3, this character is a lookout.
Wellen?
Oh,
It is not Wellen.
the Dan Wells cameo.
Yeah.
A lookout. Spook.
It is not Spook.
We don't even know he's
We
dead.
don't actually know that
Yeah.
Spook is dead.
I mean,
He abdicated after 100 years.
Yeah.
Oh no. Wait, did he specifically say that he abdicated and didn't
Oh,
die?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He, lived
Oh,
for, he
no.
lived for more than a century.
Oh,
Spook,
no.
Spook definitely is doing something.
No.
Okay, my guess is going to be Seolin.
It is not Salen.
What about Ash, Serene's Seon? He does lookouts for them sometimes.
It
It's
is
not
not.
Dead.
Dead.
It's not
Oh,
Ash.
He's not.
right?
You can't be dead if you're never alive, depending on how you define
He's
alive.
most definitely alive.
He's
I mean,
Like,
the clue.
if
the clue
If
Ren
says
Ren
he's
can
dead.
die, Sions can die.
Yes.
I don't know. Just saying. Depending on your definition.
What is alive? What is atheism?
And maybe I forgot that clue.
Clue
Anyway.
4.
Probably that one.
Clue 4. This character is from Scadrial.
Oh crap! It's gonna be one of the people that Kelsier like walked by and like happened to murder as he was infiltrating somewhere.
Is it a haze killer?
um,
Haze killers in that one chapter where Kelsier murders haze killers are all unnamed. I know that.
I know. I was just joking.
I reread that recently. Is this character like Ultra Minor, Grace?
When I searched the wiki article, it had a decent amount of information, but
Okay.
it was also a windy article, so he might be minor anyways. This character might be minor. Because I
Ooh,
did
poor
check.
that I don't know it.
I did
That's
check the
kinda
length before I
Narrowing it down to articles David worked on is not helpful.
No, it's not.
appears to be relatively minor.
I don't remember the name of the character, but it is one of the kids in. My guess that is one of the kids in Camen's crew or Camen's
Oh,
crew,
you're
the,
right.
Oh
like
yeah,
Vin's
yeah,
old
yeah,
crew.
yeah.
I didn't
And
write that
it
article
was-
Uh,
Oh,
maybe okay.
Metagaming,
Let me
I
just
like
say,
it.
maybe I shouldn't have done this one because it's 1,700 bytes and it's a windy article. So
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. We're already here.
um,
We're already.
so
here.
you know
The-
that means it's a real minor character
Yeah,
if
that's
Windy
true. Oh,
can't
yeah.
get more than 1,700 bytes.
I was guessing he was a friend and a Vin's, or so she thought.
And he gets his chest punched in by the Inquisitors, and she
Ulef?
finds his body. Ulef.
Yes.
It is not Ulif.
That was
Cool.
another one that was recently on Shardcast.
It was, yes.
Yeah, I was wondering why his character was in my head for some reason because I.
Because that was a different clue.
Oh no! I'm remembering that because I'm following a Tumblr blog that's somebody's reactions reading Mistborn for the first time, and recently they got to the bit where the Inquisitors, or at least the Steel Ministry, just annihilates Camen's crew. And apparently, I didn't remember that, but they hang Camen, so there's a hook
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
that goes like
Yeah, that
through
goes.
his.
No, I don't want to hear. If you've read it, you know what it is. If you haven't read it, you don't want to know.
Yeah, I had forgotten how visceral that image was.
I just like the annotation though, where Brandon goes, "Don't ask me what the other end of this hook is attached to." Something. Like,
So remember the Lord Ruler's oppression? Yeah, about that. Yeah.
Not a fun time.
If you're the Lord Ruler.
yeah, he had a good.
Wait. So all right, this character
Yeah, what's the
is
recap?
male. He's dead.
Scadrial,
Scadrial. Was there another clue that we had?
lookout.
A lookout.
Lookout.
Oh God.
Was there a condor that was a lookout that had to pull their? Well, after they pulled their spikes up, they're alive again.
They weren't dead though.
Yeah.
So I was saying if they pulled their spikes up, they called that suicide.
I
if their
need
spikes
clue
come back
5. That's what I need.
I
Yeah, I
do
don't
too.
know.
I don't know
All
who's a
right.
lookout.
Clue 5, this character talked to Vin. Yeah, this is a bad one. I shouldn't have done it. I'm sorry, guys. Should have.
Is it?
I want to say it's someone in Fadric City.
I feel like
Yeah,
it's
probably.
like someone that Wellen talked to. That's my theory. Am I right, Grace? That it's someone Wellen talked to that died, but Wellen lived? Because Wellen was in like 2 scenes, right?
He definitely had a buddy that died in one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, is it that guy?
No.
Curses.
Was an apprentice to clubs in his workshop.
Oh, yeah, that guy got
Oh.
murdered. But I don't remember his name.
Did he die? Really? I don't remember that.
Yeah, a lot of people died.
I guess clubs. Yeah. He had a lot
Who's
of
the
apprentices.
apprentice? Yeah, he did have a lot of apprentices.
He only
Yeah,
got I guess
I-
only 2 were named, but
Yeah,
I cannot possibly guess his name.
No, I have
Yeah.
no idea what the name is.
The name is Tace.
oh,
Oh, I would not have remembered.
Oh,
that.
was that the old apprentice that was never? Oh no, it's not. Never mind.
Grace, who sent this one in?
Let's get to the fun part.
Ashfall?
Okay.
Huh.
Well, maybe make the characters slightly.
Oh
less-
wait, no, it said
Oh yeah.
it's the subject line I should have read. It says call me the boombox. So the boombox
is
sent this
Tace
in.
even definitely dead? Because I didn't write that on the page. Not to go look. Oh well.
Welcome to Let's Criticize Your Who's That Cosmere characters. But
I was just
maybe
curious.
slightly less minor characters. That would probably be good.
Maybe.
Minor characters needs to be more than mentioned like ones, and be like somewhat memorable in some way. Like Menace. He's in 2 chapters.
Taste is in 2
Taste-
chapters. Oh, actually, never.
no,
Just 1
3.
chapter.
What?
Well, there are
Really?
references to 3 chapters on the Coppermine page.
Well, I think some of them are general facts about Clubs' crew and how it operates, and me extrapolating from that.
Oh.
I think people know about Menace because of this show.
Because of me.
I'm sorry. I just searched the name on Coppermine and saw that it was a Windy article, and I just assumed it'd be fine.
I like how you got like 3 paragraphs out of it, though. Even still.
Hey, he became their main lookout. Do you remember what the critical moment when Tace runs into the room to tell them that they're gathering in the Fountain Square? 'Cause that's all he does in the entire book.
Very, very important scene.
It was very memorable. I kind of overshadowed by the whole part where the Lord Ruler backslapped Kelsier and killed him, and also the Inquisitor battle immediately preceding that. But Tace was in the top 3, yeah, for sure.
Well, no, look, he is in a way responsible for Kelsier's death.
Wow, what a jerk!
That should have been a clue. He killed Kelsier. It's not who you think.
I like how this entire episode was all Rosharan, and this is like, let's talk about the Lord Ruler, atheism, and Scadrial stuff. It was like, what? Okay. Thank you guys for listening. Follow us on 17chart.com for all your news, discussion, theories, and fun that you could ever hope for. Join us on Discord where you can chat with us and also have lots of fun and tell us how much you love us or think that we're wrong. That's fine.
Preferably the first one, though.
Yeah, I do like praise. That's pretty good.
Like, even I know people like to say the thing like where they want honesty and things. I'm okay with people lying convincingly that they like me. This is cool with me.
That's fair. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, YouTube. Leave us a review on iTunes, and we will see you all next time for not more Radiance. No, we're done.
God, no, we're so done.
Next week, we're doing an in-depth look at Seth and his friend.
Oh,
No,
God.
I don't actually know.
I don't
yeah,
actually
we
know.
don't know yet.
We don't.
Bye.
Funny outro. Bye.
Peace.
Bye. Oh.
Caw.